So I'm going to go right ahead and just put my opinion out there right in the beginning of this video. I do not think that it is too late to buy Bitcoin. I think $8,000 is nowhere near the all-time high potential for Bitcoin. Of course, I'm making this analysis based on the data that I have at my disposal. I'd, of course, recommend everybody out there to do your own due diligence on these things. And, of course, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but my analysis on this video is going to take into consideration a number of different variables that are including and up to the overall context of where cryptocurrency stands at the moment, as we want to talk about the public consciousness of Bitcoin and the essentially development that's happening on a institutional level. But most notably, I think that this number right here, 22,318,604, this number right here is more important than the market cap of cryptocurrency. I think that these numbers, as illustrated on the world debt clock, are almost as important as the crypto, coin market cap, the overall, 259,164.55. I think that the most important number that we have to really pay attention to is essentially the decline of the current paradigm and where we can expect to see cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, all the latter, essentially coming into their own in a big way. And so behind Bitcoin is a robust code base, a platform of the people with one express purpose: disrupt traditional finance. A decade after launching, users are ecstatic about what the future holds. Some are touting the emergence of Bitcoin as a revolution in technology and money. Indeed, the rise of digital assets is a paradigm shift that the world seemingly needs. It's an inevitable part of evolution of the progress as Bitcoin shift from a medium of exchange to a store of value, rivaling gold. Analysis now says that the next Bitcoin will be a mind-bending economic paradigm. This new cryptocurrency is expected to give investors who missed the first wave the chance to gain from the benefits of the new coin. A new of course, this tweet: the next Bitcoin is not going to look like Bitcoin at all and may not be a cryptocurrency. It is going to be some mind-bending economic paradigm shift years from now that few will recognize. Investors that missed the first Bitcoin are going to miss the next one too. I think that it is interesting to see, of course, hello from Australia to our friend Chris. Nice to have you in the chat. But yeah, it is interesting to see how the cryptocurrency paradigm shift has been going underway. I think that when we want to talk about how far Bitcoin can go from here, I mean, the $8,000 level, we really have to take into consideration how far we've moved in such a short amount of time and where we could expect these things to take us. I think that there is a fair amount of confidence. How's it going? Hi from Spain. Nice to have you here as well. Infographic and overview comparison, Bitcoin exchange events. Definitely interesting. 90% of millennials prefer Bitcoin over gold. Is a landslide, which is pretty hilarious. Gives you an idea of you just think about it. I mean, you ask the typical millennial, and according to this article, they'll tell you that they would prefer to have a Bitcoin than $8,000 hunk of gold. And I honestly don't blame them one bit. Who honestly wants gold nowadays anyway? Dash to pull another surprise rally following its massive adoption in the USA and Latin America. This article goes on to say Dash, a cryptocurrency with half the value supply of Bitcoin and well recognized in the anonymous family, is set to pull another surprise following its recent development in the USA and Latin America. Now, this is definitely pretty interesting, and it comes at a time that I think is also a key indication of a lot of things that people have been speculating on. And of course, basic attention token gets paid a boost as cryptocurrency rise development train. Of course, your time has come. Basic attention token community, welcome to the family. And of course, I think that this does come at sort of a welcome time. And I am definitely interested in seeing where cryptocurrency is going to be developing from here on out. I think that there is a lot to, a lot of understanding and so forth that goes into these things. But right now, I think that holding a Bitcoin. I mean, obviously, you would have been better off to have been accumulating back in November. But then again, nobody can really tell their ass from their elbow in this space. I mean, we can't use the past to tell the future, when it comes to cryptocurrency and all these different. I mean, as much as we wish that we could, it is one of those things. And I mean, as far as these things go, I mean, I'm always happy to accumulate more Bitcoin each month, and that's just my own personal thing. But I mean, the institutions are making their moves. I mean, we've got the Facebook cryptocurrency. Bitcoin bulls are already touting the next having a definitely interesting. And I think that as more people continue to talk about cryptocurrency, I mean, a lot of these things, Golden Cross and Death Crosses have been pretty solid indications for BTC in the past. I've often thought TA was garbage in crypto, but as you could see here, using a 50 out of 100 on the one chart, Bitcoin just jumped, corrected pretty consistently after the indicator said it would. Now this is interesting chart as well to read there. And I think I have a lot of confidence in the future of digital assets. I think that it only makes logical sense. I mean, we talk about the world debt clock. I mean, it's sort of become a joke on this channel, but it really isn't any kind of joke. I mean, the world debt clock is serious stuff. We really need to give it its the serious tone that it deserves. I mean, as much as digital assets have their place, I think that we'll definitely be seeing a lot of interesting things popping up in the near future. XRP, also interesting to see this right here. The resistance, uniform resistance, and of course, rising channel, daily supply. But yeah, I think that overall, I mean, we are seeing a pretty interesting turn of events. I mean, of course, as much as I would have rather continue to have that $3,000 Bitcoin, I suppose that it had to happen at some point or another. I mean, the rising tide of people who've been paying attention to these things, and of course institutional investments and as far as these things go, have come a long way towards basically getting Bitcoin to where it is today. And I'm definitely excited to see how a lot of these different projects are going to be making a lot of these different developments come into their own in such a short amount of time. Now, of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes. I'm not your dad. All that being said, but yeah, I mean, it's cool to see Litecoin $100. I mean, if anything, it's a proof that the proof is just in the numbers. I mean, you look at it. I mean, anybody who does their research into these things for any respectable amount of time, I'm sure it has come to the same inevitable conclusion, and that is, cryptocurrency is in for a wild ride as things move forward from here. Are there any other cryptocurrencies that you guys wanted me to talk about before we end the live stream? Just put those cryptos in the chat and we will talk about them. But yeah, overall, I am pretty excited to see what's been going on in the cryptocurrency space. And I think it is an interesting time. I mean, of course, like I said, hopefully we go back. I mean, I would honestly welcome a little bit of red. But yeah, Digibyte is definitely interesting. I mean, I plan on making a video on Digibyte in the near future, just to continue on that. But yeah, all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a good one. For my bed.